Welcome back to another episode of Caribidreams TV. I'm your host, Maurice, Mr. Property John, and today we're going to be talking about something very important. Who can buy property in St. Vincent, and what is the procedure for every category of persons who want to buy property in St. Vincent? How would you be able to go about buying property in this sweet country? We're going to talk about it. Alright, so what are the different categories of people who can buy property in St. Vincent? The obvious first group are Vincentians. You're a Vincentian citizen, you're born in St. Vincent, you could buy property straight out, you pay your stamp duty, you get your deed of conveyance prepared, you go through, you could buy property in St. Vincent and Grenadines. Now, a popular category of people who ask me, can I buy property in St. Vincent, are those persons who are living overseas and they are children of persons who are born in St. Vincent, but their parents migrated and they were born outside of St. Vincent. And they message me and they ask, can I buy property? Do I need to do something? Do I need to come and get my passport? This, that, all of these questions. Now, there's something called citizen by descent. Now, if you are a child of somebody who was born in St. Vincent, all you have to make sure is that that parent name is on your birth certificate. Now, for the mother, if your mother watching in this video, if your mother is a Vincentian, it's very rare that your mother's name does not appear on your birth certificate. Alright, so most of the times your mother's name appears on the birth certificate. Now, where the tricky parent comes in is always the father. Now, if your father is a Vincentian, he migrated a long time ago, found a nice foreign lady, and you came about from that love, and his name is not on your birth certificate, then it gets a bit more tricky. So that is the second category of people who are born outside of St. Vincent, who are citizen by descent. If you want to come back and buy property in St. Vincent, just make sure that that parent who has that Vincentian lineage, that name is on that birth certificate. Now, that stops at one generation. So it's not a case where my parent was born in St. Vincent, I now have citizen by descent. It doesn't work for the next generation. So it doesn't work for the child that comes, my child. So if my father or mother was born in St. Vincent, I get citizen by descent. My children, if they were born outside of St. Vincent, don't have that privilege. Alright, so the next generation, it doesn't work for them. Alright, so we've done the I'm born in St. Vincent, I could buy property straight out. Yes. I was born outside of St. Vincent, but my parent was born in St. Vincent, and that parent's name appears on my birth certificate. Check. Next group of people who could buy property. I went to university in Barbados. I have a lot of friends across the region, and these friends of mine, when they see me post a property, and they're like, this is crazy. I need to move to St. Vincent because I can't even afford to buy a nice small piece of land in my country. So, here's the good news. There are 8 countries in the Caribbean who could just buy property very easily. These countries are Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, British Virgin Islands, Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia. So if you're any one of my friends in any of these countries, just call me 4926128, WhatsApp me, let's find a property and let's buy you something nice. Maybe a second home, maybe a vacation home, something nice. Alright? So, according to the Aliens Land Holding Regulation Act, those countries, people in those countries can easily buy. They just have to get a security clearance to get that sorted out. Alright, so What is the next group of people? Let's look again, getting all of this information from the Regulations Act. Let's look at another group of people that would be able to buy property without any serious application. The next group of people are persons who are from the Commonwealth nation states. If you are domiciled in St. Vincent for 7 years, you would be able to buy property in St. Vincent. So there are 54 countries in the Commonwealth. If you are here in St. Vincent for 7 years, then you could buy property here. So the next group of people who could buy property in St. Vincent, and this one is quite interesting, if you are married to a Vincentian, even if you are divorced, you can buy property in St. Vincent. In the definition of who is not an alien, in the Regulations Act, it says persons who is or has been married to a person coming within paragraph A or B. Paragraph A are Vincentian citizens. Paragraph B, persons who have been in the country for 7 years and you are from one of those Commonwealth countries. So, if you have been married to somebody who falls under that category, or you are married to somebody under that category, you too have access to buying property in St. Vincent. It does not mention anything here about being a citizen. It does have to be married to or would have been married to somebody who has been a citizen or somebody who's been living there for 7 years and are part of the Commonwealth. Alright? So, if you are part of that group, you know who to call. For folks who don't fall in the category of you're a citizen, you're not a citizen by descent, you are not a part of the 8 countries that could buy, you are not within that 7-year domicile 54 island Commonwealth, you have the opportunity to buy through the Alien Land Holding License. Alright, so how do you go about that? Alright, so first you have to get a lawyer to assist you in your application. My brother's a lawyer, reach out to him, his information will be somewhere on the screen, he could assist you. You have to fill out the application, and there is a non-refundable $2,500 fee that you will have to pay to the government with your application. Alright? And there is a cost when you are doing this, the transfer of the title. Alright, so you've gotten your lawyer, hopefully it's the person that was on the screen. That lawyer normally charges about $1,500 to assist you with your application. So you have that $2,500 that you have to pay to the government with your application. There's no guarantee that you will get through. So you send in your application with that $2,500, and if you are successful with your application, then there is the cost implication of the stamp duty. Now, for regular Vincentians who purchase property, there is a 5% fee for buying property in St. Vincent, which is 5% for the buyer, 5% for the seller. That is 10% that goes into the government coffers for when you are transferring title from one part to the next. Now, if you're an alien, it is a bit different. It is $10,000 for the first $100,000. So let's say, for example, we're using a $500,000 property, $10,000 for the first $100,000, and then 7% of the excess. So it's going to be 7% of $400,000 you will pay in your stamp duty costs. Alright? Now, if it's over $3 million, that is up to $3 million. If it is over $3 million, if you're buying a real expensive property, it is $184,000 plus 4% of the excess. Alright? So, under $100,000, $10,000. $100,000 to $3 million is $10,000 plus 7% of the excess. If it's over $3 million, $184,000 plus 4% of the excess. Alright? So we're gonna do the calculation screen for the $500,000 property. It's gonna be $10,000 plus $28,000, which is 4% of 7%, sorry, of the $400,000, which will give you $38,000. All right, so that is the variation in the cost that comes with buying a property if you fall under the category of an alien. All right, so recapping, we've talked about if you're a citizen, you could buy property straight. If your parents were born in St. Vincent and their name appears on your birth certificate and you were born outside of St. Vincent, you can buy. If you're one of those 8 countries that we mentioned earlier, or you can buy. If you have been here in St. Vincent for 7 years and you are from one of the Commonwealth countries, you can buy. And we discussed if you are outside of those categories and you are categorized as an alien, what the license is and how you can get one. Yes, securing your lawyer, sending in the application. Of course, you have a sales agreement, you have to fill out the form, and your lawyer will help you prepare all of that. Have the $2,500 to send into the office, non-refundable. There's a chance you might not get through, but if you get through, then there's an additional cost of the $10,000 for the first $100,000, the 7% of the excess over the $100,000, and if you go $3 million, it is $184 plus 4% of the excess of the $3 million. So we understand all of those. So if you are looking for property and you fit into any one of those categories, call me 492-6128. Let's find a property for you. All right, so let's jump into the final part of this video. Things that people ask. The next question people ask. I am not from St. Vincent. I am not within any of those categories. I have to get an alien license. Can I go to a bank and borrow money and buy property in St. Vincent? I spoke to my loans officer and the answer is yes. As long as you were successful with your license and you can finance the property, you will be able to get a loan in St. Vincent and Grenadines. No, it will come at an additional cost to you. Of course, you have to have your money for your application, and there will be a heavier input on your part. So whereas a Vincentian, you might hear advertising 100% financing or 5% in shares or stuff like that. For somebody who is not within those categories, you're going to be looking at upwards of 20% input of the property value and also paying your legal costs. So if you're looking to buy a property, it's a bit more pricier way of entry. But if you love St. Vincent, and if a lot of people come here and love St. Vincent, it's worth it. So, to answer your question, if you've been asking, yes, the local banks will facilitate a loan for you, despite the fact that you are not from St. Vincent and you're an alien. All right? So, I hope that video has helped a good bit of people out there who are looking to buy property in St. Vincent. Remember, there are several paths to ownership in St. Vincent. So, call me, 492-6128. Find a property. Let's secure a piece of this rock.